I am not what you want. I am not what you want. I am not a mover or a shaker or a go-getter or a bootstrap puller. I am not a plan and performer. I am not a stop and thinker, at least not when you want me to be. And I am not what they want. I am not a climber. I am not ambitious enough or competitive enough or vicious enough or cold enough to do what needs to be done. I am not what they're looking for at this time. And I am not what I want. I'm not 10 pounds lighter or 10 pounds stronger or 10% more focused on or 10% less distracted by. I'm not. But I am. And if nothing else, I am. And as I move and shake and grow and climb and lose weight, in those moments in between, I must be. And I must ask, would I want to be with me? Just sit on the couch and enjoy my company. Not move, not shake, not build, not break. Just be. Would I want to just be with me? Would you want to just be with me? Hello. My name is Otis. That first poem was actually originally written by a poet named Apelles Johnson. He's from Indianapolis, Indiana, and he's a fantastic poet. Actually, right now, my mind is kind of stuck on back home in the USA. There's a lot of violence happening right now due to classism and racism. And the person who originally trained me in spoken word poetry, his name is Louis Ageless Paulino. He's a poet from New York City. And through conversations with him, we realized that many of the problems that happen in life come about because of a lack of effective communication, getting one idea from one generation to the next. Right now, a lot of the public officials in America, it feels like it's a new generation of cops, of FBI agents, of TSA agents that don't really understand the compassion of the older generation and the understanding of the old generation, but they still have the power and the abuse of power that the older generation had. So things are getting more callous, and you can feel it. But we believed that art was the single medium that allowed for you to not only communicate ideas from one person to another, but emotions and experiences. So together we wrote a poem. The poem is called A Language for Us All. And yeah, it's a poem written to kind of bridge those gaps. And I believe that Red Room is a very good place for exploring different kinds of art and exploring different kinds of really spiritual communication between people. You may have heard parts of this poem before if you've been here at Red Room, but because I have a longer time slot, I'm going to be able to perform it in its entirety. So let's begin. Woo-hoo!谁斗的话，第一也最重要，人，我们都是。有时候，诗最好是普通的事儿。First and foremost, humanity we all bring. And sometimes the best teachers are in the most common of things. Hood on my head, hands in my pocket, I can now stand before you all without a race. My face is in shadows, and though it always lay dark, to talk of who wants to see me and who can is all but past. Because now it is not your choice but mine, and in my cotton weave sanctuary, my skin isn't showing. Look, just blue cloth. I could be an enlightened Ellison, an invisible man. I'm no longer black, white, Asian, African, Latino, or American. I no longer wade in the shallows of skin color, but instead sail on an ocean of humanity. Look, it's just blue. If you were to enter into my heaven, you wouldn't speak as I do now. A gem your tongue would become, and you would stand here waiting to see if the world would engage you in English or ignore you entirely. But no, I must speak and tell you of this armor of objectivity, and woven into cotton fabrics lie all races, all nations, all histories, and in my hoodie all states are, and all princes I, nothing else is. And from where does this self-proclaimed power come? It is not from the escape of the world's impositions, no. What shakes the foundation of any system of oppression is the knowledge that everyone here knows inside this hoodie there still lies a person. A person with a mother and a father. A person with the capacity to do good or evil. A person with dreams and aspirations. Because you don't know if I'm Asian and harmless or black and just a little bit out of place, you feel uneasy. And without your eyes' constant reassurance, you can even become afraid. Too many times I've turned around and scared people because they thought I was like them. But I turn now to tell you that I am like you. Idioma para todos. Todos nuestros movimientos caen de nueva ruta a pisar. No importa cómo estrecha o solitaria la carretera. 10.1 habitito de corazón natural en todos de nosotros. Así cuando he perdido mi ritmo, puedo escuchar al tuyo y encontrar mi camino a nuestro universo. All of our movements carve a new path for us to walk. It doesn't matter how narrow or lonely the road. God put a natural heartbeat inside of all of us so that when I lose my rhythm, I can listen to yours and find my way back to the home of the universe. Listen to what lies beneath the rhythm. It's the pulse of the universe. Movements unrehearsed that can make a dead man shimmy in a crimson cream colored hearse. It's a rhythm that allows the blind to see the blind through the soles in their feet, not behind their eyes, or like Stevie, wrapping ribbons in the sky, spinning life into emotion without any outside notions of race, now replaced by a rhythm. Just sounds. Echoing off these vessels of catastrophe known as humanity that can carve rivers in the eyes of any man you see, but the only language music speaks is harmony. Invoking the sleeping God in thee, inspiring symphonies of movements that yearn to move freely, allowing feet to moonwalk without gravity, or b-boys breaking beats over cardboard concrete streets, or guiding baby making between the sheets as R&B blast on repeat, reigniting the heat of those of us who are tired, or who have misplaced our fire in the torches of our desire. Listen to the rhythm flow from instruments, lips, feet, and hips, reminding you that the same hands make the mind and the heart. But we're lost in a world that thinks the two should be miles apart. But just listen to your heart beat your thoughts into existence and recognize your brilliance. Thank you. I'm going to end with a poem originally written by a Canadian poet named Shane Kozan. He's actually pretty famous on the interwebs, but he created a poem that was really touched me and is really inspiring to me, because brilliance is really the contrast between light and darkness, and that contrast can be shown also by just one person standing up and saying, no, I don't like this. No, this isn't how it should be. No. And this poem is about that. It's called This Is My Voice. That's good. This is my voice. There are many like it, but this one is mine. And it's a fine line when you're trying to define the finer points of politics. Politics being a Latin word, poly meaning many, ticks meaning blood-sucking butt lumps. But too many live in countries where it's bullets instead of ballots, where gavels fall like mallets when held in the hand of those whose judgments can be bought just as easily as children can be taught to covet. When the only ones willing to stand up are forced to live so far below the radar that the underground is considered above it. This is for the Ho Chi Minhs and the Michael Collins, the Marquis de Sades, and the muted gods. This is my voice. There are many like it, but this one is mine. And this time is for the sons and daughters who watch their mothers and fathers drown in shallow waters while panhandling for the American dream in a polluted creek called the mainstream. It is for the homeless people sleeping on steam vents, making makeshift tents out of cardboard and old trash, trying to catch 40 winks between crash and car wrecks, risking their necks to survive another day so they can starve, so that famine can carve their bodies into a corpse while their heart is still beating, so that men in a board meeting can make it harder for them to get welfare, health care, so it's no wonder some of them pawn off their own wheelchair. And every time I walk by, I can't help but feel at fault, like maybe I didn't search myself hard enough for the Control-Alt-S so I could save the world. Or at least this little girl who's curled up into a ball. I spend my life throwing compassion back like a fish that's too small. Gotta cash in my reality checks, draw personal spare fantasies. Because I've got 3 separate degrees from different universities, but the most valuable thing I've ever learned is to believe people when they say please. This is my voice. There are many like it, but this one is mine. And don't tell me there are no heroes. This one's for them. The women and the men. This is for Helen Keller, who above all odds found a voice. This is for the choice that Veronica Guerin made. This is for Dr. Martin Luther King, who stayed just long enough to share a dream with us. This is for that day on the bus with Sister Rosa Parks. This is for the Joan of Arcs who still believed even in the face of sparks becoming flame. This is for the political game that Louis Rael refused to play. This is for the day that the Dalai Lama finally comes home. This is for Dr. Jeffrey Wygrand, who alone stared down big tobacco. This is for Nelson Mandela, who continues to go the extra mile. This is for the trial that finally found a man guilty who shot Medgar Evans dead. This is for everything Malcolm X said, remembered by athletes who left the Olympics double-fisted. This is for Arthur Miller, blacklisted for calling a witch hunt what it was. This is for Galileo, locked up because he said the earth was round. This is for the 2 Live crew who found the sound that got them banned in the USA. And imagine if we could still hear John Lennon play. This is for the someone who today stands up and says no. This is for Edward L. Law who shut down McCarthy. This is for Salman Rushdie, Mahatma Gandhi, you, me, this city, this country. All of us have a choice. And when you stand up to be counted, tell the world, this is my voice. There are many like it, but this one is mine. Thank you. God bless.